A hoodie pulled down over his face, a mask covering everything beneath his eyes. No celebrity lifestyle, no constant media appearances, just music. At 14 years old, sitting alone in a small bedroom in Norway, he started making electronic music as a hobby. Nobody knew his name, nobody knew his face. And then one song changed everything. Faded. A track that would go on to collect billions of views and streams around the world, created by a teenager who simply loved making music. This is the untold story of Alan Walker. Bergen, Norway, 1997. Alan Olav Walker grows up in a quiet city surrounded by mountains and fjords. From an early age, he is shy, introverted, more comfortable with computers than with people. At school, he struggles socially. He finds it difficult to connect with those around him. But at home, in front of a computer screen, everything feels different. At 14 years old, Alan discovers music production software online. He starts watching tutorials, experimenting with sounds, building tracks from scratch with no formal training whatsoever. No music teacher, no mentor, no guidance. Just a teenager in Norway, completely alone, falling in love with making music. For 2 years, Alan produces music in complete anonymity. He uploads tracks to SoundCloud and YouTube under his own name. Almost nobody listens. Almost nobody cares. He is just another unknown teenager uploading music to the internet. But Alan doesn't stop. Every day after school, he sits down at his computer and works, experimenting, failing, starting over, improving, and slowly, very slowly, his sound begins taking shape. Something unique, something emotional, something that feels completely different from what everyone else is making. He just doesn't know it yet. Then comes 2015. Alan Walker is 17 years old. He releases a track called Faded. For days, almost nobody notices. Just another song uploaded to the internet by an unknown teenager. But then something starts shifting. People begin sharing the track. First dozens, then thousands, then millions. The melody catches something deep inside people. Something melancholic, something nostalgic, something that feels like a memory you can't quite place. Faded spreads across YouTube, Spotify, and radio stations worldwide. Within months, it accumulates hundreds of millions of streams, eventually crossing 1 billion views on YouTube alone. A track made by a 17-year-old in his bedroom in Norway had become one of the most streamed songs on earth. But as the fame arrived, Alan Walker made a decision that surprised everyone. He refused to embrace celebrity culture. He started wearing a mask and pulling his hoodie down low. Unlike most artists chasing attention, Alan chose anonymity. But for Alan, the reason was deeply personal. He was painfully shy, genuinely uncomfortable with attention, a true introvert who never wanted fame in the first place. The mask wasn't a gimmick. It was protection. A way for a quiet teenager from Norway to survive the overwhelming world of global celebrity without losing himself completely in the process. After Faded, Alan Walker became unstoppable, alone, dark side, routine. Song after song connected with a massive global audience. He collaborated with artists from around the world. He performed at the biggest festivals on the planet. And his fan base, known as the Walkers, became one of the most devoted communities in electronic music. But what makes Alan Walker truly unique is who his audience is. Not just EDM fans, gamers, anime fans, young people who feel like outsiders, people who feel invisible, people who feel exactly like Alan himself felt growing up in Bergen. He didn't just make music, He created a world where people who didn't fit in finally felt like they belonged. Today, Alan Walker has billions of streams across his catalog. Faded alone has accumulated billions of views on YouTube. He has performed in countries across every continent, won multiple awards, and built one of the most loyal fan bases in modern music. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about his story is how ordinary it started. A shy kid in Norway, a laptop, music software downloaded from the internet, and 2 years of working completely alone, with absolutely no guarantee that anyone would ever listen. Alan Walker didn't set out to become famous. He just wanted to make music he loved. And somehow, the entire world fell in love with it too. Alan Walker proved something important. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to show your face to connect with millions of people. You don't need industry connections, or famous friends, or expensive studios. Sometimes all you need is a bedroom, a computer, and the courage to keep creating, even when nobody is listening yet. Because somewhere out there, someone is waiting for exactly the music only you can make. Subscribe for more untold stories behind the legends who changed music forever.